Welcome to the Wood-Fired Oven Podcast, the show which brings you cooking with fire tips and inspiration, along with special guests from around the world who will motivate and entertain you with their stories. Here is your host, Mark Goston.
Tucked away in a gorgeous part of northwest England is the county of Lancashire. Thank you, Julie. The county is pretty big. It has a population of about 1.5 million folks squished into an area of about 3,000 square kilometres in glorious green British countryside. Preston is the administrative centre of the county, and this is where I find myself today. More than a few winters ago, Roman soldiers roamed these lands. Ribchester, the home of a Roman fort, is only about 20 minutes up the road. The history and heritage of this part of the world is incredible. So, like the Romans, I have found folks all over the UK who love cooking in wood-fired ovens. Today, I am very fortunate to be having a fireside chat with a wonderful wood-fired oven home cook right here in northwest England. She is a psychotherapist, loves caring for people, and loves to cook with fire in her wood-fired oven. Julie Riding, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, it's great
Excited.
to be here. This is a beautiful part of the world that you live in.
It is, yeah. It's fabby. We're out in the countryside here. As you say, lots of green fields, but the reason for that is the downside of that is it rains an awful lot here.
I mean, it's a beautiful day today, isn't it? In fact, just let the listeners have a listen. Oh, that's rain.
Yeah.
That's rain, Julie. It's raining.
And wind.
Who would have thought in the UK that it would rain? Okay, just let's set the scene for the listeners. Describe where we're sitting.
Okay, so we're at the top of a hill at the back of our house, and we've had our garden renovated a couple of years ago, luckily just before lockdown. And we're sat under a pergola, but it's got no sides to it. So as you can hear, the wind and the rain are
That's starting to come down now.
inside.
But actually, we're not getting wet though. That this is it's a big structure you've got here next to your wood-fired oven. It covers this table well. You've done really well with this. You must be really pleased.
Yeah, it's fabby. Yeah, no, we do. We are really pleased with it.
And behind you is this gorgeous wood-fired oven that you installed a couple of years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when it was finished.
It's beautiful, and it's you've lit it up today, which is good. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Looks fabulous.
Any excuse to get it lit.
Absolutely. And I think you said before we came on air, you're cooking something today as well in the oven. What are you cooking?
Yeah, chicken shawarma.
Okay. Fabulous.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
very
love
good.
it.
Do
I
you?
love.
Is it your favourite thing to cook?
I think is it Lebanese food?
Yeah,
I think it's
I don't know.
Lebanese. I first tasted it, oh my gosh, about 20 odd years ago in Romania, actually. It was in
That's not Greek.
a restaurant. It was called Springtime. They used to sell this stuff, and I just absolutely love that taste.
Oh, really?
So,
Isn't it?
so
Fantastic.
it's
Fantastic. Yeah, nice one.
kind of my signature dish in a sense, really. But yeah.
So Lancashire, not Lancashire. Is that Lancashire?
Yeah,
Can
it
you
is
say
a
it for me?
shire, but we say Lancashire.
Lancashire. All right. So can you describe that for the listeners like me, never been to this particular part of the world before? How does it differ from the rest of the UK?
It's a lot colder and a lot wetter.
It's quite windy. It reminds me of Wellington, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty breezy. But you're up on the top of the hill here anyway, so you're going to get a fair amount of this wind coming off the west, I think.
Yeah, I mean, where we are particularly is a massive farmer community around
Okay,
here.
yeah.
So we are surrounded by lots of farms and fields and cows and sheep. But Lancashire was famous for its cotton mills years
Mills,
ago.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of water and lots of wind.
Yeah, right. And rain.
So that's what we're famous for. And you'll see deserted cotton mills all over the place.
Okay. It really is a beautiful part of the world. But, to be fair, like a lot of the UK, it does rain a lot. And you can see that with a lot of the very green pastures around, which I guess your beef, your cows like to graze on. And actually, when I was researching for this interview, I didn't know this, but British beef, I actually had a steak the other night, some British beef, and I haven't had British beef probably in about 5 years, and it actually tasted a little bit different, and I'm wondering if than Aussie beef, and I wonder if one of the reasons for that is that British beef, turns out, most of your beef is actually fed grass and not grain, and as opposed to beef in the States where they feed a lot of their cattle grain, and that affects the taste. Yeah. Very interesting.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it does make sense. If you've got a lot of rain, you've got a lot of
flavour
grass, you're going to grow really lovely beef. And I think you've cooked beef in your wood-fired oven as well. And do you remember you did some beef ribs maybe 5 or 6 months ago that I had a wee peek on your Instagram and had a look at. Actually, I think it was in the Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group you posted it. Do you remember cooking that?
Yes, I do. They were very good, actually.
Well, they look
even
really
though I say
great.
so myself.
Yeah. Do you remember how you prepared those? Because I've done
I'm just
beef in
trying
my
to think.
smoker, but I haven't done big beef.
I did
I've got a picture here.
a dry rub, I remember putting on it.
Yeah.
But what actually was in that dry rub, I'm not entirely sure. I got it off a recipe off the internet.
Yeah, well, it looks fantastic. Was that a slow cooked dish?
Yeah, it was a slow cooked dish, and I did the dry rub, and then that stayed for quite a while with that, and then there was a sauce that went on top of it, and then it went in the oven.
Yeah. Well, it looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really good.
And that was from local butchers.
Was it?
Yeah.
But you must have fantastic local butchers here, though.
Yeah, we do. We're very lucky.
Yeah,
There's two in the village, Rouse's and Anderton's butchers.
Right. Are they independent type of butchers? They're not supermarket butchers?
No, they're not supermarkets.
Oh, you're so
no.
lucky. We have to really go far and wide now in Brisbane to find independent bespoke butchers, and a bit jealous of that.
We've also got a very good supermarket called Booths. I don't know if you've heard of them before.
No.
It's a family-run business, and they supply with local produce.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
So it's a very small supermarket. Well, ours is in the village. They do have bigger ones, but yeah, it's all local stuff.
Really-
so it's
really
really
good
good.
stuff.
Yeah, really good food.
Cumberland sausages, that's a bit further north from here, isn't it? Do you make good sausages in this part of the world too?
The two butchers that we've got in the village, they do really good.
Because the Brits
sausage.
like sausages, don't
We
they?
do.
Yeah.
I'm a bit fussy, really. I
Are
just
you
like
a bit
plain.
fussy? Are you?
I just like plain pork sausage.
Do you? Well, that's okay. Yeah, nothing wrong
I
with
don't
some
particularly
pig
like
sausage.
anything else in the sausage.
So like flavoured sausages and stuff.
No,
But you
not
flavoured your
particularly.
beef ribs though, Julie?
Yeah, but that's not a sausage.
Oh, no, okay. All right. You're right, it's not. Yeah, you are. No, picky. Okay.
They look good, those. I might
The
have to
ribs?
do those again. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah,
they were really good.
My daughter Caitlin, she was helping me prep for this. I've just phoned her actually. We've been speaking to our daughters in Australia today on the way up here. We stopped on the side of the road and had a wee chat with them. And I said to Caitlin, do you remember prepping for Julie? I'm going to visit Julie. Julie, she seems so lovely. Have you seen the photo she's done of her food? She sounds so lovely. Oh, I have a really great time, Dad, talking to Julie. So, well, I am. So did you grow up in this part of the world?
Yeah, born and bred in Longridge.
So are we on Longridge here, are we?
Yes, and this is the story was Oliver Cromwell stood on the top of one of the ridges and said, "Oh, look at that long ridge," and that's where the name came from.
Okay, it's a good name.
So whether it was from Oliver Cromwell or not, I'm not too sure,
All
but
right, yeah,
that's
okay.
how the story goes.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So I'm from here. I was born in the local hospital in Preston.
Right.
Went to school in Alston, which was near where we met today. At the
Oh,
White
yes,
Bull.
because
We
you picked us
brought
up
you
at the
in.
local pub, which is a very British thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I love
so we had the main street was shut today due to the soapbox derby, which is the first one we've ever had. So
So a soapbox is like, because you sent me a picture, I think yesterday, warning me about this, or the day before perhaps. And so a soapbox it's like a go-kart without a motor, is it? And they go zoom down the street?
A bit bigger than go-karts.
Okay.
There were some go-karts, but yeah, no, it was really good.
Was it cool?
Yeah.
Did you hop in one? Did you have a go?
Oh, no.
you
It was
just
quite,
spectated?
it was quite well organised.
Was it? So the Prestonites, are they right into their soapbox?
No,
cars
this is
and-
the first time. I mean, there's a Red Bull, isn't there? Soapbox thing or drag race or I don't know what they call it. But yeah, it's quite a big thing.
Ah,
But this
What a
is
cool thing to do.
This is the first time they've organised it and it looked really good. It was packed, yeah.
The locals loved it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
good.
pretty cool.
So went to school in Preston. So went to primary school in Alston, high school in Preston, went to a convent, which is now Newman College. It's now just a sixth form college.
That was a Catholic con.
Yeah, Catholic, yeah. And then at the age of 18, I went to London to do my nursing. And I went to Great Ormond Street, which I don't know if you heard of. It's a famous children's hospital, Great Ormond Street.
In central London.
Yeah, central London. I think it's WC1. And then we went to Watford General to do the general part of our training. And then I kind of wavered a bit and
Did you?
yeah, and being young and silly and
Yeah.
I'd done nearly 3 years and I left. And then I met my first husband.
Yep.
And
It's still in London?
No, he was Romanian.
Right, really?
So I went on holiday. A friend of mine, Joe, we had 2 weeks holiday from Watford General, and she said, "Oh, I'll go and book the holiday." So she came back and she said it was either Ibiza, and I've already been to Ibiza, or Bulgaria. We didn't even know where Bulgaria was, so we got the map out and had a look.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's an adventure from Preston.
Yeah, so I met my husband over there. So I left the nursing without finishing, which was silly because I came out with nothing. Obviously, heaps of experience, but no qualification. And we used to sell leather jackets all over London. Yeah, and Wembley Market.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we did that for quite a few years. And then we went and spent quite a bit of time in Romania. So it was supposed to be just for like a short period of time. But unfortunately, my husband's brother got killed in a car accident and we ended up staying quite a bit there.
Right, okay.
Business-wise.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So we used to have catering trailers up in the ski resorts.
Oh, did you? Is that right?
So I suppose that was my... Well, no, that's not true. That's not my first encounter with food. My first encounter with food was when I was 15. A friend of mine, Lisa, her parents had a local restaurant, a pub, in a village which is about 3 miles from here, Chipping.
So is it a restaurant in a pub or it's a pub restaurant? Is it?
Pub restaurant.
Okay.
It was a pub, but people didn't really just go for a drink. They went to eat.
Okay.
But you could just go for a drink, and some people did.
Okay.
But in general, it was more of a restaurant.
Yeah. Okay, so you're 15 at this stage. And
yeah.
Then
So I used to work at weekends there. So that's where my first bit of entrance into the
Did you
food
serve
world.
the food there or did you cook the food there?
No, I waited on.
You waited?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, good. And you enjoyed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Then I went to London, then I went to Romania, and then came back from Romania and I went back to the restaurant.
Oh, did you?
And went and worked with my friend there. And it was just easy because it started at 9, finished at 3.
Yeah, right.
I was mainly on my own with the kids and it just worked well.
Great.
And then when I was 40, I thought, hang on a sec, I need to do something here. This is my life's disappearing and I don't feel...
Sure.
I say I don't feel as though I've done anything, but I had.
Of course you have.
So I thought, I'll go back to uni and I'll go and do a psychology degree. Got all the information for the uni and then it wasn't going to start till September. So I thought, I need to do something in between. I'm not just going to go and do that. So I went to the local college and I said, what is there to do? And they said, there's a counselling course if you want to do that. So I started there. I never went and did my psychology degree. I just carried on doing all the qualifications for my counselling. I've been doing it ever since.
And you enjoy it?
I love it.
Do you? Yeah. So why counselling? What led you into that?
I don't know. I got it into my head I wanted to do this psychology degree and I thought it was something related to that. I enjoy talking to people.
Yeah. Well, just as well, because, you're talking to a random stranger who's barreled into your house today.
I know. Crazy, isn't it?
Isn't it bizarre?
I know.
I think we were just talking about this before we came on air, actually, and it's pretty random.
Yeah.
You just met a random guy and his wife at a pub car park, and here I am talking to you in front of your gorgeous wood-fired oven here. It's great, isn't it? It's really great. In terms of your childhood growing up, do you have particular memories of cooking with your parents, with your mum and with your dad?
No. My mum, I think she cooked because she had to, made us tea, but there was no, everything was just plain boiled. I don't think I ever remember her cooking with garlic or any sauces apart from gravy, typical English gravy, which would be powdered Bisto with mixed with water.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I remember my dad used to make the Sunday lunch.
So that's quite a traditional thing for the British, isn't it? Having a big Sunday lunch?
Big Sunday lunch, yeah.
It's
not
a roast,
necessarily your dad doing it, but a Sunday
right.
lunch, definitely. Yeah, it's a big thing.
Is
having
it?
Sunday lunch, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people do Sunday lunch.
And
if they don't do it at home, they go out and eat the Sunday lunch. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's not a tradition where we come from in New Zealand or Australia, but it is big here. You see it on TV a lot. Yeah, big Sunday lunches. Don't you get tired after a big lunch on a Sunday? It's Sunday.
and mainly more so, I think, you do it in the summer, but it's mainly in the winter. And it's normally not particularly nice weather in our winters.
Well, you have very short days here. Like I think during December, this is pre-COVID, wife and I came over and I remember being up on Hadrian's Wall just north of here and the daylight was so short. I don't know, 5 hours. It was getting dark by 3:30 in the afternoon and it's all very short days.
Later than that maybe. Yeah, 4 or 5 o'clock maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Pretty short days though.
If I go to work in the morning at 7 and I come home at 7, I don't see daylight really.
Yeah, amazing. Okay. What about food memories when you were in London as a student? You wouldn't have had a lot of coin back then to splash out on London gorgeous food. Do you remember the sort of things you used to eat while you were studying?
Well, I would live in the nurses' accommodation when I first started, and it was literally tins of mackerel in tomato sauce.
That's disgusting.
And even
tomato sauce, I love. I'm not a fishy guy, but mackerel. Oh my, yuck.
Yeah.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I used to like them actually, but actually I was just the thought of actually opening a tin of mackerel with tomato sauce now I think would turn my stomach. But that's what I used to live off things like that. Tin stuff. I didn't cook at all. I remember once attempting to cook a chicken in the nursing home when I was at Watford General, and everybody kept walking past and saying, "What's that horrible smell?" And I was like, "I don't know, I've got my chicken in the oven. I don't think." And I went in the kitchen and I thought, yeah, there is a bit of a weird smell. And the chicken was off.
Oh,
But
no, really?
I didn't know.
You could have killed people, Julie.
Well, it was next to the hospital, so they wouldn't have far to
Would
go.
have been good practice.
But yeah, so
Oh, wow.
that was
Okay,
my
that's
first
pretty exciting.
adventure with cooking.
And so you've got a couple of kids.
Yep.
And did you enjoy cooking for them growing up? Is that where your love of cooking has sort of come from? Because you must love cooking because you've got this gorgeous outdoor patio area with this wonderful wood fire, which we're about to talk about.
Yeah, I do. I do love cooking, and I love cooking for people as well.
Yeah. So you entertain a lot here?
Yeah, we do. We have people around quite a bit. I suppose it started again properly when I lived in Romania, because when I first went in the late 80s, there wasn't an awful lot. It was quite a deprived place. There was not a lot of... You go to the supermarket and there'd be nothing in apart from chicken's feet.
Oh, right, okay.
And
so whereabouts in Romania was this?
that was in Bucharest, in the
Bucharest,
capital.
yeah.
But if you went to somebody's house, their fridges were jam-packed full of food.
Oh, were they?
And you went into anybody's house and they fed you. It was such,
Very
and if you
hospitable
said no, they were kind of offended. And so you just end up eating and eating and eating.
Fabulous. That's great.
I suppose it started from there, really. The food was fantastic.
So how would you describe Romanian food? How would it differ to British food?
They eat a lot of stews with red sauce. Greek food a little bit. They have a thing called sarmale, which is, it's like, not instead of vine leaves, it's the cabbage leaves. And then you soak them in salty water and then you fill them with rice and meat and herbs and garlic. And
That sounds pretty good.
And then you put them in like a pan and then you layer it up, and in between the layers you put smoked bacon and different herbs and tomatoes, and then you just pile it up, and then you put, they had this thing called borscht, but it wasn't borscht like the cold red soup that you hear of, like a Russian dish. It's like, I think it's made from fermented barley or something. I'm not 100% sure what it's actually made from.
How would you spell that? B-O-R-S-C-H
Oh, now you're
or something?
asking me. Not sure. B-O-R-S.
I think I have heard of it, actually.
or something. And it looks like an off-white coloured, malted kind of look. And you used to go to the markets and you'd go with like an empty lemonade bottle and they'd fill it up with this stuff. And then they put it in soups to sour the soup. They called it chorbas. But yeah, so they'd... I'm talking rubbish there actually, because they don't put the borscht actually in there. They put the juice from the cabbage. So a bit like sauerkraut.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
the
gotcha.
juice from a sauerkraut.
Yeah, okay,
I don't
gotcha.
think they actually put borscht in that. That's something different.
Okay.
Totally
right.
wrong. But yeah.
But it sounds lovely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love it. That'd be good to put in the wood-fired oven overnight because it just slow cook it. So that'd be a really good dish to put in there.
Well, that's a nice segue, actually, to your wood-fired oven. So you've lived in Romania, you've lived in London, you've lived in Preston most of your life, and now sitting 6 feet behind you is this gorgeous wood-fired oven. Why is it here? What led you to get an oven, which you're now cooking with fire? Why is it in your backyard? What led you to this part of your story, Julie?
A bit random, really. So
It's pretty random.
well, it was my husband's idea in the first place to kind of renovate the garden, because the garden was just a massive green grass and quite a bit of it, and there was just nothing there. So we hardly ever used it.
So
really.
how long have you been in this house for?
12 years.
Yeah, okay.
So this has only been done in the last 3 years. So anyway, we got a bit of money and the whole garden needed doing. All the fencing was falling down. There were ugly concrete posts that were all crumbling. We needed to do some work. So anyway, we got someone in and he came and he started planning what we were going to do. And then I made, I was going to say a fatal mistake, but actually it was a good thing to do. I went on Pinterest.
Oh, yes, okay. But you did a search for great outdoor patios or something?
Well, I think first of all, we decided that we were going to then, if we were going to be able to use anything outside, maybe we might have to put a pergola. So first of all, we weren't even going to put a
too.
roof. We were just going to have like an empty, just the posts and like a slatted open pergola. And then as we progressed and eventually decided to have what we've got, we decided that there was no way we were going to use it unless it had a roof on, certainly here in the north of England. So anyway, so I went on there and then I started seeing these lovely gardens with barbecues set up. And then I saw one that had this pizza oven in the corner of it. And I thought, oh, that would be good. It'd keep us warm. So that was my first thought.
Well, there you go. And it's tripled your budget, of course, for your hat.
Oh, yeah. We won't talk about that.
No. Same with me. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it happened, really.
Was it really? Yeah. So had you done any fire cooking prior to your wood-fired
Well,
oven?
I might have created fire in the kitchen, but it wasn't meant to be
chicken.
there. Yeah, I won't set fire to a kitchen.
But I see you've got a barbecue next to you here as well. And did you have one of these growing up? Did you any experience with it?
Nope.
Nothing. So this
no
is all
background
brand
in
new
this
dish
at all.
for Julie.
Yeah. So when we first started, we did quite a bit actually on the barbecue, but we've kind of tended to move and do so much more in the pizza oven now. And I say pizza oven, but wood-fired oven.
Sure.
We did start doing just pizzas in it, but actually cook anything and everything in it.
Yeah. I guess for most of us, we'll probably start with pizzas in our wood-fired ovens. Probably the best thing in the world to cook pizzas in. But I think pretty quickly, most of us realise that it's a oven just like what's inside our kitchen. It just happens to be powered by fire, not electricity, and anything you cook in your kitchen can be cooked in here. And by the looks of these gorgeous things I'm seeing online of what you're cooking, I mean, you're doing that. It's great. Yeah, it's really...
Well, and actually, with what's going on at the moment, we might be ending up cooking more out the wood-fired oven because we won't be able to use the electricity or the gas.
I was about to say... power prices here are going nuts.
Oh,
have you seen it with your own
crazy.
bills?
Yeah, they've doubled and they're supposed to be doubling again. So literally.
They are really insane, aren't they? Like, it's been on the news back home about your power prices.
They're talking about capping it, but exactly what's going to happen, we don't know yet. But yeah, so we might
be
out here cooking in this oven more than we thought.
Well, that'd be a shame.
And maybe for the street as well.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, I see historically these things would have fed the street, the big ones, you could do that. Do you know what's the diameter of your oven?
I don't. It was called a Fuego 80.
So it'd be an 80 centimetre probably.
Maybe it's 80
I was about to say it looks
centimetres.
about 80 centimetres. Mine's 105 across the base. And it's called
inside?
Yeah, the cooking space. So I've just come from Mana on Devon cooking school, wood-fired oven cooking school down in Devon. And they've got a 60 centimetre small oven. And yours is definitely halfway between theirs and mine at home. So I would say it'd be
I would
about
have
80
thought with it being
centimetres.
called the 80
Yep,
that
it'd be
it's
80 centimetres. And that's
inside.
probably referring to the cooking space across the floor on the bottom. It's a great size oven. Yeah, it's great.
I bet it could fit, most probably, if I organise myself properly, you could get 3 pizzas in there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's wind back a little bit. Let's talk about your thought processes about the brand of oven. Tell me, so where has this one come from?
They're based in England.
Yep.
They're called Fuego wood-fired ovens.
Yep. It's a British company, I
It's a
think your
British
husband was
company,
saying.
But they import them from Spain.
Yeah, right.
I don't know whereabouts in Spain.
Okay.
But they come already built.
You didn't actually have to put these bricks together.
No.
So how on earth did you get it up on the top of this gorgeous brick base here that you've got behind you? How did you get up there? The two of you lifted up, did you?
Well, yeah, there's a bit of a story there because
is
the guy that did the garden and did all the build for us, and I was saying to him how heavy are these ovens, and because the oven's just under a ton.
Yeah, they're
in
heavy,
weight.
aren't they? They're really heavy. Yeah.
And I said to him, how are you going to lift it? How many men would it take to lift it? And he said, about 15. So anyway, the day after I came home and they'd actually put it in place, and I was like, how did you do it? And he said, we had a Manitou. And I said, what, a Manitou? And he said, yeah. I said, well, you told me it'd be 15 men.
guys, yeah.
So they found that quite funny because actually a Manitou is kind of like a little bulldozer little thing, a machine.
Like a little forklift or something.
Yeah, like a forklift truck that
Manitou.
comes. Yeah, that's the main.
I would have
name.
interpreted that as
Yeah.
two guys lifting as well.
So they got it to a certain thing, and then they were using pulleys and strings and ropes, not strings.
Okay,
Ropes
sure.
to get it there. So they did a fantastic job.
They really have done a great job. And was it the same crew who did the brickwork on the bottom? They did all the same. Because that brickwork is stunning. I love brick. I love red brick, and they've done a really great job.
He'll be very pleased that you said that.
Well, he's done very well. What stonework have you got underneath? Well, actually around the top. Do you know what stonework it is? Because it looks like the same around your garden plants. Is it the same?
I don't know. I don't know if it's Chris would be able to tell you. I don't know if it's Indian stone
yeah, it's
or.
nice. And actually, it looks like it's withering really, really nice too. In fact, your oven itself looks like it's withering really nice.
I did put something on. It's in that bottle down there, actually. It's
like a sealant? Yeah.
Yeah. It's
water
like a
repellent.
water repellent.
Actually, that's the Seeker. It's the same brand of stone sealant I've used back home to seal it up. Oh, yeah. And so you're pleased with how it's withering? It's doing a good job?
Yeah, well, because we actually put the roof on, so that protects it as well now anyway. So I don't know. I'm just hoping. It looks good. Looks all right.
Looks really great too. And it looks like it's well used because of the black stonework just in the 12 o'clock position above the mouth of your oven there. It's so obviously, it's not just a showpiece.
Oh,
You're getting out here using it.
Yeah.
Does it snow here? Because it's freaking cold.
When I was younger, we used to get loads of snow. It does snow, but not half as much as it used to. But we can get quite a bit of snow.
Is it? Yeah. Talk to me about some of the cookware that you use. Now, you're talking about the pizzas that you've cooked, but you obviously are doing some other things as well. Do you have some favourite cooking vessels that you like to cook with?
To be honest, that's what I look for when everybody's cooking on the
Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group.
It is, yeah, definitely. I'm always intrigued by what people are using.
Yeah.
I did actually get two pots behind us. Well, there's actually three actually.
So are they clay?
They're actually from the Fuego ovens.
Are they?
Yeah, they do sell them.
Because they do look
my
quite
kids to buy them
Spanish.
for a Christmas present.
Oh, neat! That's great.
So so that's what I cooked the ribs. The beef ribs in.
So what we're looking at here, it's probably it's quite tall actually. It's maybe a 25 centimetre clay. It's almost a Keswela style of clay pot. It's got a lid on the top with a little handle on the top. The volume of that looks quite large actually. So good for beef ribs.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
No,
and there's another one next to it as well, and that's got it looks like a bird bath actually. It's kind of. It's another pot, maybe half as high, maybe 15 centimeters high. It's quite wide, and that would just fit in the mouth of your oven there. Maybe 35 centimeters wide, and it's got a lid with a handle on the top. What would you use that for?
No, it's not a lid actually. It's not a lid? No, it's a pot sat in another.
Oh, is it?
And I think you're being very kind there because it looks quite rude.
It's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
so
actually,
why is it shaped like that?
It's to stick a chicken.
The boiled chicken.
Yeah.
Is it?
So the thing in the middle goes up the chicken.
It's like beer can chicken. Have you seen pictures of that? Yeah.
And then you just turn it around. And so of course all the juice is at the bottom. So you can put like potatoes or something in the bottom. So all the juice comes to the bottom. And, it's good.
It does a good job.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, I've used it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What about other cookware that you've experimented with?
I've just been using cast iron. Yep.
Love my cast iron.
Yeah,
what
heavy.
cast iron have you got? Yeah, it is heavy, yeah.
Yeah, no, I've just got a few pans.
Yep.
Like a grill type with the bridges at the bottom.
Yeah. Good for steaks and things or vegetables.
Some frying pans. The problem is I've got some dishes but they've got, what do you call it? Not enamel. What they're kind of coated.
The cast iron ones?
Yeah.
I think it is enamel.
Is it enamel?
It's a form of, I think it is.
So I'm just a bit wary because of the temperature, not to
go
crack
hard
it
with
or
it.
to...
No.
Because I've got a tagine as well and I've not used it yet in there because I'm a bit nervous to put the tagine in case it just cracks.
See, I mean, like all of this clay stuff, I've got a tagine. I absolutely love my tagines. And mine are unglazed as well. I think the thing with those, and they can crack, but they tend to crack when they're shot heated.
Oh,
so if
right,
you put it in at the start in a cooler oven and then just allow it to heat up you can can pump them up really,
I suppose it's
really
a bit like
high.
what the oven's made of, isn't it?
And exactly right. And the tagine, very much like your clay pots here, they were fired at temperatures over 1,000 degrees. And you'd have to work pretty hard to get that up to 1,000 degrees. Possible, but not cooking temperature. So I don't think you'll have any problems at all.
So when you say 1,000 degrees, are you talking centigrade or Fahrenheit?
Centigrade.
Yeah.
So
wow,
I mean,
wow. So
these Keswelas, when they're put in the firing ovens, they're fired at extremely high temperatures to set and to go.
So even the glazed stuff shouldn't have a problem.
No, just chuck it in.
All right.
If it breaks, just blame me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my cast iron. I've got this thing with collecting cooking things for my wood-fired oven, and I've got far too many don't tell my wife. I've got far too many cast iron pots now. I've probably got, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, and different frying pans, but I reckon cast iron, yes, they're heavy though, aren't they? But they're just made for them. They're great. I'm more worried about my cast iron chipping my brickwork than my brickwork hurting my cast iron. So, but they can get up to really high temps, and they hold their temperature really, really well. The cast
they do.
iron. I think
I mean, they'd be good for the slow cooking, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And the big pots, I just leave in there overnight or the next day. And I think these ovens, aren't they? They are so versatile, and you've already found that yourself with cooking pizzas or cooking your beef ribs and these beautiful dishes you can do with your clay pots. But they are so much more than a pizza oven, though, aren't they? You can do so much in these.
Yeah, well, what we've tended to start doing now is we'll cook a few things beforehand, like sausages and bits to nibble at and chicken wings and what have you. And then we crank it up a bit and then start cooking the pizzas. So, so a bit of a mixture even. Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? Just trying to get the temperature.
It is. And that is one of the challenges, isn't it? I was talking to somebody recently about some of the common issues that folks new to these things have, and it's probably temperature management. It's very easy to throw wood in here. It's very easy to get these things up to really high temperatures, far exceeding what we'd cook in our electric oven. We have a tendency to burn all our food.
Yeah,
or to overcook it.
And we've been cooking in it for, 2.5 years now, and still experimenting, really.
Yeah.
There's still so much I need to learn and do, and just risk doing something.
That's right.
Just chuck it in and see how it gets on.
Yeah. Do you think cooking with fire as opposed to electricity has its own unique challenges?
It's just more fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely more fun. It's definitely more fun. Do you light up the oven?
No.
I thought it was fun. You said it was fun.
Well, I do. I mean, I like working with
hubby
it.
does that, does he?
Yeah, he does that, yeah.
Guys do like
He's not
fire.
into cooking. But
Isn't he? So you do all the cooking? Oh,
not yet. No, he doesn't do any of the cooking.
Nothing. Oh.
He get in the fire and he's like, he doesn't want anybody else to tamper with it because it's his thing.
His domain, is this?
So,
okay, fair enough. Well, that's good teamwork, though.
I leave him to it on that.
Does he clean it up then, the oven?
He does actually, yeah. No, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing, isn't it? He's done very well. It's great. Yeah, it's good. The versatility that we just mentioned, these ovens, they really are quite something. Some ovens have the ability to retain an awful lot of heat after it's been lit up. How do you find the heat retention properties of your oven?
Not as good, I'd say. I'm saying that though, but actually it's not bad. The one thing that this oven is very good at is that it warms up very quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously to do that, the insulation isn't as good.
So inside your oven, I can see inside from here, is that a refractory concrete inside the oven? It's not brickwork inside the oven direct, is it? It's refractory.
I haven't a clue, Mark.
It's refractory concrete, I think. Okay, so that's a really great product for heat retention, this refractory concrete. Okay, but so let's say you're lighting this up for pizza on, say, a Friday night.
Yeah, half an hour and it can get up to 400 degrees.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you know it's at 400 degrees? How are you temperature checking?
There's a thermometer.
Oh, there is too. Okay. There's a thermometer, Mark. Okay, it's stuck on the side right in front of my face, actually. You're right. And actually, it looks about 280 now.
Yeah, Matt will be getting mad because it'll be...
Is that dropping a bit low for him?
He wants it to be a bit
He's taking my
higher.
wife out for a drive, so...
Yeah, you'll just have to sort it when it gets back.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's pretty quick, though.
Yeah.
I mean, half an hour.
Yeah, but what I have noticed is it does get that temperature quick, but the actual base of the pizza oven isn't hot enough because I've tried cooking on it instantly when it gets to that temperature, and when you put the pizza dough onto the bottom of the oven, it stays soggy and wet.
Yeah, okay. All right. So question for you. When you're lighting up your oven, and this might be hubby's fault here, when he's lighting up the oven for pizza, where is he placing the fire? In the middle of the floor?
In the middle of the floor at the beginning.
All
no,
right.
he does that.
Okay.
And then when it's established, it then pushes it.
Okay.
And then we do one side and then the other side.
Yep. Okay. So what you're trying to do there is trying to heat up the floor, but it's not quite getting there. So maybe it might just need longer.
Yeah. So that's something that we've learnt anyway.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So I was thinking, it's the bit of the... Is it that the dough's too wet or that's happening? But no, it's definitely the oven's not hot enough.
Yeah. Okay.
So it looks as though it's hot enough.
Yeah, sure. So your thermometer, it's just to the left of the opening of the oven, and it's positioned at around about maybe 40 centimetres, maybe 30 centimetres above the floor. It's measuring air temperature, not floor temperature as well. Have you got one of these infrared guns that you can pick up at your hardware store?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so they're great. So what they do is they take a temperature reading of whatever it's, looks like a laser dot, whatever it's touching. And you will probably find that the temperature of the floor on one of these infrared thermometers will be much lower than the air temperature inside the oven, which is maybe 40 centimetres above the floor of the oven. So maybe, that's another little tool that might be helpful.
Yeah, and again, it's just another thing to learn, isn't it?
It is.
That actually you think the oven's hot enough.
Yeah.
But it's not to cook the pizza.
No, that's right. Because to cook pizza, you need a very hot floor. But this is certainly capable of it. Yeah, it's great. How are you heating your oven? What are you using?
Well, when we bought the oven, they were telling us that we had to have, is it 30%, not 30%, about the amount of water that's allowed in the wood.
The moisture content? Yep, sure, okay.
And so we've got a local company called Fox Timber, who on Shea Lane here in Longridge, and they do kiln-dried fox blocks, as they call them. So it's
fox blocks?
Yeah, there's one here actually, look. So it's,
right.
It's 100% virgin wood.
Yep, okay. So it's like a briquette. So it's maybe the size of 3/4 of a brick, a normal brick, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Right,
No,
okay.
and they're great.
And it's compressed and it's dried and good.
They light really quickly.
Yep.
We do use the natural little firelighters first. We just use one of those with a tiny bit of kindling and get those on, and they're great.
Away it goes.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
And so they light up pretty quick, eh? Yeah. I haven't tried briquettes in mine. Is natural wood in the UK, is it quite expensive to buy?
It is expensive. And when we've actually put it in, it's just, I don't know whether it's the type of wood that we've actually used, and don't ask me what it is because I don't know. It was just
wood.
It was just wood.
Okay.
And but it smoked an awful lot. So whether that was due to the water in it, or
probably
the type
too
of wood,
wet.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but we don't have any problems with these, and they're not that expensive either. So
are they? Yeah, and they're readily available. You can run out on a Saturday afternoon and pick up a bag, and it's great. Yeah, but you got to use what's convenient for you to use and what you're used to as well. And after a while of using the particular wood or fuel or briquettes, you get to understand it a little bit too. And I think your cooking becomes more predictable when you understand the wood. We use a wood back home. It's called ironbark. It's a native hardwood. It's one of the native hardwoods in Australia. And it's, I hate splitting it. It gives me lots of splinters. But as a fuel source, it's extremely dense. But it's taken a while to understand, I guess, the energy properties of the wood, how thick to cut the wood. If you put a really big piece of this in, it takes ages to light up in the oven, and then it's providing an awful lot of heat in the oven very quickly. So I've gone to using smaller chopped up bits of wood. That's made quite a big difference to my cooking. It's a bit easier to manage. But your briquettes, I was looking in the oven before and they're firing away. They're doing a great job in there. So it's a really good option.
Yeah, and we've not touched it for quite a while, have we? It's a couple of hours really.
Yeah.
And it's stayed constant.
It's doing a great job, isn't it?
It's just under 300 now.
If you're enjoying this episode, sign up online at woodfiredoven.cooking and receive our free wood-fired oven resource pack. Follow Mark on Instagram at marks_wood-fired oven for recipes, tips and techniques to supercharge your fire cooking skills. Join our Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group and meet some amazing fire cooking enthusiasts. Okay, back to the show.
Now, you've got a door on your oven, and some wood-fired ovens come with a hinged door, and some don't. Yours does. It looks great, actually, and you're looking at the door. It's got about 8-9 holes in the door as well. Do you use the door on your oven very often?
Obviously, when we're doing pizzas, the doors are open all the time, isn't it? I have noticed on the Wood-Fired Chronicles that...
Nice plug there, Julie. Yeah.
that they do have the door that you take off and push in.
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, why is mine looks different? Mine's got a hinge, so I don't know.
I have to say, I think the hinge is a good idea because my wood-fired oven has a door like you described. I lift it up and pull it out, and I love the door. It's great, keeps a lot of heat in. It's quite heavy though. So having it on a hinge like that, it's magic.
Oh, right, okay. So I use the door obviously if I'm doing overnight cooking, shut it down. Yep. But most of the time it's actually open.
Yeah.
If you just do normal cooking, you're always in and out, aren't you? But actually, even today when we lit it, I did actually close the door slightly because I knew we were popping out for a bit.
Yeah, down to the pub.
Yeah, that's something else I need to experiment with because it did actually the temperature started to go up And you're always frightened that if it doesn't have the door shut and the oxygen, that it's not going to...
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I think it's great. I do like the hinge design, and I know that there are a number of manufacturers out there that do them. I think it's nice. Yeah, I think it's great. You've got a motif at the 12 o'clock position on the brickwork above the opening to your oven. What's that?
It's not a motif. It's actually a handle that you turn and it closes off the flue. Yeah, but I'm not too sure why that is.
Okay, yeah,
because
sure.
I only ever have it open.
Right.
So whether in winter, but then even when you open it, the stuff's gonna fall down anyway.
Yeah, right. No, I don't know.
So I'm not sure.
Another way to regulate the hot air escaping from your oven, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, whether you're smoking something?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, good. Here's a great topic. Smoking in your wood-fired oven. Have you tried it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, you really got it. Have you done smoking?
No.
No?
No.
Do you like meat that's been smoked?
I do.
Yeah. It is fantastic. It's great.
I've never ventured into doing it yet, but whether that would be, I don't know.
I don't know.
If that's shut, that would...
I'm not sure. I've smoked a couple of really large pork shoulders in my wood-fired oven, and if it's set up, and your oven would do it brilliantly. It's a good size for it. Smoking meat requires a particular setup that the wood-fired oven itself isn't really designed to do. I mean, we get a bit of smoky notes on our food in a wood-fired oven. Not really, though, because it's designed to evacuate the smoke up the chimney. A smoker, though, if you've got a standalone smoker, it's designed to put the smoke through the food. So when you're smoking in a wood-fired oven, you've got to think about how am I going to get the smoke to waft up through the food, flavour the food, and have the food really sitting in the smoke layer. There's a really good post on the Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group, Julie, about it. Yeah, definitely worth a go. If you're that's about plug number 5. Listeners, if you are listening to this episode, you can head on over to the Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group and sign up. More than welcome to have a look at a whole bunch of posts that Julie's done. Lots of folks around the world have come into the group, which is really exciting. It's a great place to see new ideas and to try and to get inspiration, I think.
Well, it encourages to actually light the oven up sometimes as well, isn't it? You know,
absolutely.
And there's lots of like spices and things that people use, and I go, "Oh, what's that?"
Yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
I know, it's great. Yeah. But yeah, I'd encourage you to try smoking in your oven because that's another way that you can extend its versatility as well. I think it's really great.
So I don't know. Maybe I should ask them what that actually is for.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure. Obviously, it shuts off.
It does, which would regulate some of that heat loss out the chimney, which we do lose a little bit out the chimney over time. But no, I don't know. Maybe for your long cooks, it would stop that heat rising out the chimney. Maybe you'd get better heat retention. Maybe. Yeah, ask the manufacturer.
It stopped the rain coming in, but it's got a...
Not a problem. It's got a little cap on the top, a bit like mine,
anyway.
and you've got a roof over yours. It's not so much of a problem. That's great. So tell me a little bit about some of the entertaining that you've done with your wood-fired oven. So you mentioned before you've had family and friends around.
Just family and friends, really.
Yeah.
A few parties, a few birthday parties.
This is a great spot to have a party.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Great entertaining spot.
Yeah.
And everybody loves the wood-fired oven.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a central piece, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, and I was saying before, quite often instead of doing retaining the heat and cooking something overnight, we tend, because it's quite cold here, that we just huddle around the fire to try and keep warm.
Yeah.
So we end up not using it to cook, but just to stay alive.
Stay alive. That's right. And that's great. I mean, you get to have live fire in your backyard, and I think it's a great thing to draw people together. I think it's great. About 3 years ago, just before COVID destroyed everything, we had our family and friends over for Christmas Day, and I lit up my oven and did all sorts of food. I was very busy on that day cooking in the oven, though. Have you done a big cook like that on Christmas Day in your oven yet?
Well, kind of. So we did actually have Christmas Day inside, so it wasn't Christmas dinner that I cooked in the oven.
It's not summer for you in Christmas, is it? No, it's cold.
Yeah, and the first Christmas I actually did it and did the pizzas, why I decided to do it that year was that the garden was still a mud bath because we were still all in construction, and I had a plank of wood going at the bottom because there weren't any stairs in to get to the top. There weren't the 3 steps that are there now. So I was running up the plank of wood and we had pizzas for tea.
Did you? On Christmas Day. That's very un-British, isn't it? Pizzas on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
Oh, good on you. Good on you for stepping out. That's great.
And also for tea. So here in the north of England, we don't say dinner.
Is it tea?
To eat at night, we say tea.
Tea.
So we have
Is dinner a southern thing, is it?
Definitely.
Is it
yeah,
really?
So we have breakfast, dinner and tea.
Huh? Dinner's lunch?
Dinner's lunch.
That's a bit weird.
So for tea on Christmas Day, we had pizzas. Yeah. But it was hard work because I was literally running up a plank.
It is hard work, isn't
putting
it?
them in. But yeah, great fun.
Oh, yeah.
And also, it was quite mild, actually. It was a lovely temperature. So, yeah, so a great thing to do.
Well done. That's great. That's great. Because you can entertain a lot of people with food out of these ovens. I mean, if you've got your timing down and you're well organised with all your prep, you can cycle a huge amount of food through this. Have your guests got involved in cooking with it?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
The occasional pizza's been made that they're quite happy to kind of put the toppings on and try and roll out a pizza. But in general, no. I normally take charge of the cooking. Not obsessive, but I do. I love cooking.
Little bit, yeah.
I love cooking.
Oh, that's nice.
And when you were saying before that you're busy, and I do. If we're having people over, I start in the morning just prepping and doing stuff, and you can just get carried away and
I've seen a picture of your pizzas, actually. They look really good. Tell me a little bit about your process for making pizza.
I've done a bit of research. I started off doing one that was on the BBC Food from the internet. It didn't take particularly long. I think it's an hour and a half or something. Just a basic dough with you. But it had actually, did it have milk in it? No, it had olive oil and milk and dried yeast, salt, sugar and flour. But then I don't know where I found this guy or how I found it, but there's I don't know if you've heard of them. It's a company called Pizza Steel. No, it's not Pizza Steel. Anyway, it'll come to me. And I watched, I don't know if it was a YouTube thing or something on Facebook or something of him prepping this dough. So it's just a 72-hour dough. And basically the difference is it's hardly any yeast.
Yeah, sure.
So
because it's fermenting for so long, it doesn't need much yeast. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think it's a kilo, 100 grams of flour. And I always do and try and use a really good flour. We've got, as I said before, we've got the Booth supermarket and they've got some really good different pizza flour in there.
Yeah, nice.
And then it's just water, salt and dried yeast, but hardly any.
So are you doing this for 72 hours typically?
No, I'd say the longest I've done is 48 because I don't plan myself as well as I should.
Well, you have to be planning it midweek to do that.
Yeah, but it's good enough, and it's been great.
What about toppings? What do you like to put on top of your pizza?
Oh, well, actually, my best topping, I've done lots of different stuff, but my best one the other day was I chopped up some ribeye steak.
Oh, stop it.
Very, very thinly sliced ribeye steak, and then I stuck it in the oven on its own first. And then with some garlic butter.
Oh, lovely.
And then I chucked a measure of brandy on the top.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Brandy on your pizza?
Yeah. Oh, no, this was just on the steak.
Oh, on the steak?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's still ending up on the pizza.
Yeah, and then I
nice.
quickly took it out, and then on the pizza I put some mascarpone cheese and a bit of tomato.
Oh, that sounds really good.
And then stuck all the steak on and then just chucked it in and it was delicious.
Was it really?
Oh,
it
was so good. Even though I say so myself.
Oh, well done, Julie. You've done well.
It was good.
It does sound good though. I mean, steak with a bit of brandy. Oh, seriously?
My other one that I did was, the Chinese crispy duck.
Yes.
So I stuck a crispy duck in, shredded it, and then put that on top of the pizza with hoisin sauce.
Oh, did you?
Oh my God, that was good.
That was great. Hey, well, you're pretty creative then. I mean, you've come a long way from tin mackerel and tomato sauce. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. The picture I'm looking at here of your pizza, this is mozzarella on top, is it?
Yeah,
Did you use mozzarella?
Yeah, just mozzarella and tomato base. That was with.
Have you made mozzarella? Have you tried making it?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I make a bit of cheese. I'm a bit of a home cheese maker, and mozzarella is actually pretty easy to make. You just need good quality milk.
Oh, right.
You can do a 30-minute microwave mozzarella, and it is amazing. It literally takes 30 minutes to make.
All right. Well, you'll have to give me your recipe.
Okay.
I'll have a go at that.
Will. Or you can do the 8-hour version, and actually it's a little better.
We do have a local farm that actually has buffaloes, but they don't make mozzarella.
What do they do with their buffaloes?
I don't know. They make some form of cheese, but it's not. It's Karen Lodge.
Okay, but they won't make mozzarella.
No, it's a type of. They do make cheese with it, but they don't make mozzarella. I'm sure they don't make mozzarella.
The British make fabulous cheese. Really great. Yeah. Stilton, I make a version of Stilton.
Well, we have our cheese. Lancashire cheese, which is very good.
Yes, you do, don't you? Yeah. Oh, wow. So you like your cheese?
Yeah, and we've got lots of dairies around us.
You're lucky. You're spoiled for choice.
Yeah. I could start naming them all. There's quite a lot. Yeah.
Well, you should definitely try. I'm going to watch out for this. You should definitely try making some Julie's mozzarella. All right, I'll give you my recipe. You can give that a shot.
Well, my daughter lives in France and she asks me to take cheese to France. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. Really?
Yep.
The French
cheddar.
make fat.
They all want cheddar cheese.
Oh, yeah, cheddar's gorgeous.
Yeah, but
Real
the French
cheddar cheese
people
is
want cheddar
fantastic.
cheese.
All right.
Yeah, so my suitcase is normally full of cheddar
Is it?
cheese when I go.
That's great. I've
France.
made some big cheddars. I've done a Guinness infused. I like my Guinness. A Guinness infused cheddar. That was really nice, and a Shiraz infused cheddar, which actually has a whole bottle of Jip Jip Rocks Shiraz in it to infuse it. I bought another bottle at the same time to have with it. I haven't cracked into the cheese yet. It's in my cheese fridge back home, just waiting another year before I eat it. Cheese making's great. Yeah, you should try it. It's great.
Okay,
Put it on
I'll
your
believe
pizza.
you.
Very good.
As long as it's not too much effort.
No.
I mean, I don't
there's quite a
mind
bit of effort, to
making
be fair.
things that take time and are an effort to make, but just depends.
Oh, no. Well, you live a busy life. No, it takes quite a bit of time. But something that might take a little bit less time is marmalade. I love marmalade. And
I don't know, marmalade takes quite a bit of...
Well, how long does it take?
It's the chopping up of the actual oranges that takes the time.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Because you're a bit of a marmalade expert, I think.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say expert, but my mum always used to make marmalade.
Did
That's
she?
one thing that she did do. She made treacle toffee and marmalade. So I think it was January, February, and I don't think that's when the Seville oranges actually come, but that's when we get them in England. So it's February.
Seville, that's
February
a Spanish type of orange, is it?
Yeah, Seville, the place, Seville, and the particular type of oranges, and that's what they use for marmalade.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But the time is scraping out the pith, putting that in like a muslin bag.
Yep.
And then slicing the oranges into the thin strips. That's what takes the time.
Right. Okay. So, and the reason I'm asking you about this is because, well, you've put a couple of posts up with your marmalade, and I grew up with, my mum used to make marmalade, or my grandmother actually used to make marmalade. My wife, she loves marmalade, and it's a kind of a thing when we come to the UK on holiday, we go down to your supermarket, we buy some British marmalade because we really love marmalade.
Well, if you're lucky, I might have a jar left.
Oh, you don't?
In the garage.
Oh, no, I can't take that from you.
Oh, well,
I can have a
I say
taste.
one, but there will be more than one. But you can have if there is one, you can have a jar of...
Oh, that sounds lovely because we love, thank you very much. That sounds great. Do your kids like marmalade? Do they make it with you?
No, it's actually only something I started to do recently.
Is it?
Yeah, so no, the kids haven't made marmalade with me. Though it was something I used to do with my mum because it takes so much an effort chopping it all up. So it's like,
right.
that's your job.
Okay. You mentioned your kids, you've just been to France. So one of your daughter lives in France?
Yep, my daughter lives in France, yeah.
So you live so close to France, it must be pretty cheap to duck over the ditch there to France to see them?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was much cheaper, but it's kind of like doubled in price, but it's still very reasonable for us to go. £100 return.
£100 return. So that's for just to France. That's
it's only 2 hours though. It's a 2 hour flight.
I know, it's about 25 hours to come to London for us, and it's a little more than £200. I'm very jealous though because we love Europe, we love Italy, we love France, Spain, but it's so close. I'm so jealous. It's £200 return from home to. Where do you fly out of Manchester?
Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
On Ryanair, was it?
Yeah, Ryanair. One great thing that I do bring home every time from France is they have salt. Can you believe that? Salt.
French salt.
So, yeah, it's called fleur de sel.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard
famous
of fleur de sel?
I have, yep.
So,
is it good? Really?
And we've actually driven past where it's actually, I was going to say they make it, but they kind of, that's not the right. Harvest it, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good.
Is it really good? Really clean, really beautiful. Oh, yeah. I've been getting into my flavoured salts lately. Do you have flavoured salts?
No, I'm a bit like my
Are you a
sausage.
purist?
Just pork sausage and my salt's
and
the same.
salt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can add that to it anyway, can't you? Like the herbs or you can just put that in. And when you buy something like that, do you not find it just costs so much more, but it's literally just herbs and salt.
But you can do it yourself. Yeah, you're right, but you can do it yourself. Smoked salt, right? You can smoke salt, and you can smoke salt in a wood-fired oven, and that's really nice.
Well, I tell you what, I've just started using, and I can't believe I've never used it before, and I do love it. Celery salt.
Oh, isn't it good?
Yeah.
Celery salt's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, my old man used to use it all the time and on his barbecue. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. That's a flavoured salt, though.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so
you're
not quite the purist anymore. No.
No, and I actually looked it up how to make it, and it does look quite easy to make.
Does it?
I think you just chop up the leaves at the top, not the actual stalks.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
So the leaves from the celery, you chop those up, but most times when you buy them in supermarkets here, they've taken all that off, haven't they?
Yeah, okay, all right. So I'll be looking out for some
apparently.
celery salt by Julie as well. Non-purist celery salt. Okay, that's good. Let's have a little chat about the weather. We've touched on that you do live on a bit of a hilltop, on a ridge that's long ridge, right? The wind comes in, as it is today, from the west, from the sea out here. What's the sea out here? The ocean out, is it the Irish Sea maybe? Is it?
Yep, Irish Sea.
Okay, and so the prevailing wind is a cold westerly. I think your husband was saying.
We call him Weatherman Matt.
Is he?
He's
Yeah.
obsessed with the weather.
Is he? Yeah. Okay.
Because literally you can actually look through our bedroom window and you can see the weather coming in.
Oh, can you?
So he'll look out in the morning and go, "Oh, we've got 10 minutes to walk the dog before it starts raining."
That's great.
But yeah.
How good is that?
But yeah, everything we do is dependent on the weather, really.
And how do you find it impacts cooking in your wood-fired oven?
We put a roof on it specifically because we knew that, first of all, it would protect it and that we can actually stand on it while cooking. But yeah, if it was raining, it would be hard work doing it. And it's not just the rain, it's the wind. So, the rain comes in, it's horizontal.
And I think for folks listening who don't have a wood-fired oven, it's often in your backyard. It's often away from our kitchens. And so if we're having to run in 3 or 4 times to get some ingredients or to get some pots or pans, and if it's raining, well, you might not get wet standing at your oven because it's under this wonderful roof, but transitioning in and out of your kitchen, you are. And so if it's raining, it's not going to work. Let's just have a think about what you might do differently if you were building another wood-fired oven in your next house. What would you do differently in terms of your design of your patio, how you've incorporated your wood-fired oven into the environment, the style of your base? What would you do differently?
I was saying, because I look quite envious at everybody on the Chronicles, the Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles, is that they've all got these... They're like tiles that the actual front of the oven comes out further. Is that what you call it?
Yeah,
a landing?
like a landing at the front, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it would be easier, especially if you're using cast iron pans to put them on there because they're quite heavy.
Yeah, okay, to
and
slide
if you're
them
carrying
out.
something that's
Yeah,
hot,
gotcha. Yep.
it would have been maybe to have a bit more of an apron.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
A landing.
I mean, you've got to the left and the right of your oven door, and we'll post up pictures for folks who are listening to the show to take a look at Julie's oven. You've got an awful lot of space, though, to the left and to the right. I have none. I've got about 10 centimetres, and mine just drops away to the pavement. I have a large landing, so I get to use all that space. But I like how you've incorporated your landing area all the way around your fence line to your barbecue. So you've got about 3 metres of working space to the left and the right of your oven, which is great, actually.
Yeah,
it makes it really
good.
versatile, yeah.
The only thing is everybody's looks good with their wood underneath the hole that we've got, like a cubby hole underneath the wood-fired oven.
Yep.
It just gets wet.
Does it?
So
Yeah.
it looks good on, everybody else's. I'm sure they can use it to store wood. But actually that's just decorative now, really, because you can't keep anything out.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I've got wooden doors on mine, and we had big floods go through earlier this year. Part of the suburb where we live, they lost about 100 houses with the flooding. We didn't get flooded, but we had 3 weeks of just incredible rains. And even my wood that's in behind wooden doors got very, very wet from the consistent rain. Yeah. I don't know how it got wet because the doors are pretty good, but I'm now having to rethink my doors. Got little slats in them for a bit of airflow, and I think the water's just got in there, and I would have had about 4 inches of water in the base underneath the oven. And so, I'm starting from scratch, having to dry that wood out again for about another 8 months before it's ready to use again. But it looks nice. I mean, it's a beautiful archway below the entrance to your oven too. I think it is very nice.
Yeah, no.
And you're storing some stuff in there today?
Chris, he was called the guy who did it all, and he did a really good job there.
Yeah, it's great.
And here too, we've got a space at the back there, and that could actually have doors put on.
So that's to the left of the oven, and that's sort of a working bench area. And below that, you've got an opening. Okay, so you could put doors on that, and you could store it if you wanted to. Yeah.
It looks nice, but it is just decorative.
Anything else you'd do different if you're doing it again?
I don't know. I was thinking the other day maybe a bit of a sink, but then it just keep going. You can say, well, I'll have this, I'll have that, and maybe a fridge, but we don't really need a fridge. Just need a few ice things because the ice doesn't melt because it's that cold.
No, I was about to say just put your beers out on the table and it'd get cold enough, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily think a fridge is necessary.
I reckon a sink's a good idea, though.
Yeah. I quite often want to wash my hands more than wash the dishes. Yeah, that's the thing, especially when you're doing the dough and then you've got full of flour and then I've nowhere to wash my hands.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Chris Vozo, he'll be listening to the show. He's an absolute amazing wood-fired oven fanatic. He's on Instagram. He's in the group. I interviewed him earlier in the year, and he's got the same oven as me, actually, in the south of Queensland in Australia. He's put a sink to the left of his oven. And he reckons it's not only for washing up, but for washing hands. He's washed his kids in it, and he's washed his dog. Now, you've got a gorgeous puppy kicking around here. You could wash your dog in it if you had a sink next to the oven. But he really likes it. He thinks it's an excellent addition to an outdoor area. I don't have one, but I can see the appeal. If I was doing mine again, I'd have wings to the left and the right like you've got, and I'd put a sink in for sure. I think it'd be really handy.
Even if it's not properly plumbed in, but you just had like a unit at the bottom with a dirty water film.
Yeah,
exactly
right.
That,
it would be very, very handy, I think.
Yeah,
it'd be great.
definitely somewhere to wash my hands. Definitely.
One of the things you've got that I don't, a bit jealous of this too, is you've plumbed in electricity right out to your wood-fired oven too. Why have you done that?
Music.
Which you had on when I arrived today.
Yeah.
You had a bit of jazz on, I think, kicking back with some jazz out here. Oh.
Sometimes keeping your phone charged up.
Yeah, it's good.
And I like deep fat frying, but it stinks in the house.
Well, that's a good place
so
for it.
we quite often we do chips with stuff that we're
Oh,
doing.
that's great.
It's great.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's nice and safe out here too. For
deep fat fryer.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I've got electricity probably maybe 2 or 3 meters away. But like you, I come out with my glass of red wine and I like to watch my romantic fire while I'm heating my oven up, and having power right next to the oven would be very handy to charge my phone. Because it's the afternoon by now and my phone needs a charge. So actually, I think it's great. I think you've done really well with it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we use the phone to do the music as well.
Yeah,
so,
it's great.
Yeah.
For somebody who is thinking of considering, like you did, I guess 3 odd years ago, putting a wood-fired oven in their backyard, who doesn't have one, never had one before, what advice would you give them with regard to planning the location of your wood-fired oven, planning maybe a wider build with your patio and the roof area? What learnings did you take away that maybe you could pass on to somebody coming behind you who is about to launch on this journey?
Definitely, if it's in England, and especially the north of England, I'd definitely say get it covered, because it does protect it so much in the woodwork. I mean, I don't know what this is going to look like in 10 years' time, but at the moment it doesn't look as though it's a day old, apart from the front where the stuff is at the front door. The actual woodwork itself looks fantastic.
It does.
So I'd definitely have a roof over the wood-fired oven, especially in this weather.
Did it take a long time to design the whole area here? Was that quite a process for you?
I don't know. A little bit was from the Pinterest thing, just seeing a basic outline.
That's good advice, though. I mean, look at pictures online. Look at what people have done, because you've created this by looking on Pinterest. For goodness' sake, it's great.
I know.
It's very creative.
And also Chris had some good ideas as well. The guy that came and did it all for us. So there was a lot of input from him. Yeah. And the guy Andy Wilkinson, who did the woodwork here, it was just incredible. We just said we want this, and he just, what about this? And we went, yeah, that's great. And the only thing he was saying was to do is it cedar shingles around the roof? But yeah, they look really good.
They really do. And I think it's very in keeping with your oven too, because this sort of shingled wooden roof style is, I love it. I think it's great. Looks really good. And underneath it, you've another advantage of your electricity here, of course, you've hung lights underneath too. Yeah, so this will look really cool at night time. Yeah, with the fire raging there in the heat of the summer.
Yeah, no, they do. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything. The only thing we've done is we've put this fabby stone table. I love it.
Oh, it's neat. It's like a bar table that we're both sitting at now. We're sitting across from it, talking to each other. I think it's great. It's about maybe 2.5, 3 meters long. It's really neat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's undercover.
Yeah, but it's just a little bit out. It could do just a couple of inches.
Go that way, but
yeah.
Okay.
But but we didn't want to be too near the barbecue either. So
stay warm though. Yeah, you've done well. Yeah. Any other additions to this area that you can envisage wanting to do?
Well, I don't know. We've got the seating area over there, but that could do with a bit of cover on it, really.
Okay, sure. It's another pergola coming, is it?
But yeah, I don't know for another. I don't know. Maybe even just a big brolly. The big ones that bend over.
Oh, they're nice, aren't they? Yeah, cool.
Maybe something like that to get a bit more use of that.
So, I understand you're going to cook something today. So tell me what I can expect. What are you going to cook?
Well, I wanted to do something simple because I didn't want to get myself flummoxed. So we're doing my favourite chicken shawarma. So it's chicken thighs that have been marinating in turmeric, cumin, allspice.
Goodness me, sounds good.
Garlic, salt and pepper, obviously, and a bit of cayenne pepper. And then we just pan-fry them in the wood-fired oven. And then just before they finish, you cut them, slice them up, and then you mix them into all the spices and the juice that's come off it, so it all gets coated in that. And then I've made some yoghurt pita breads.
Oh, fantastic.
But I've never cooked them in the wood-fired oven before.
Look, today is the day to try and experiment.
I've always cooked them on like a flat pan on top of the stove.
Yeah, right.
Nice. So I'm going to...
Well, I'm super excited.
It might be a total disaster, but that's what we're going to do.
That's all right.
And then we've got some mixed roasted...
Goodness.
Well, I'm going to roast the Mediterranean vegetables, and I've made some homemade tzatziki.
Oh my gosh, you really have gone all out. Well, I'm very grateful. I'm looking forward to that, Shelley. That sounds great.
We will see later.
Okay, so you're doing some bread here, Julie. Tell me what you're doing here.
It's just a yoghurt flatbread, really.
Yep.
It's the same amount of yoghurt as flour, self-raising flour.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's it. You just leave it mix it together, knead it, and leave it for half an hour, and that's
Really?
it.
That's it?
Nothing to it. Now
Well, it looks fantastic. Looking forward to this.
rolling it out into kind of like a pita bread shape.
Yep.
And I've got a bit of semolina flour
Nice.
on the bottom, so it's not going to stick,
Yep.
hopefully, to the bottom of the oven.
Hopefully.
I've never cooked them in the wood-fired oven before.
Haven't you not? Well, today's a first.
But I have made them before, but cooked them on like a flat pan on the stove.
Okay.
So we'll see how they
Well, they
turn
look
out
great.
today.
Now, you've already put some things into the oven here. So,
Okay. So I've got my,
what have we got
my
here?
famous chicken shawarma.
that's looking and smelling absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so that's cooking nice and slowly there. Hopefully not too hot and get too burnt.
So, how long do you think that'll take?
What? 20 minutes?
Okay, not too
Yeah,
long.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
You said not really that long. So I'm going to take it out in a minute because I
Okay.
need to cook the yoghurt flatbreads and
Okay.
the oven needs to be a little bit hotter.
Okay.
And then at the back there, I've got some Mediterranean vegetables. I've got a garlic bulb cut in half, some red onion.
I love red onions. Oh, they are fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh, I
they're
just
actually
love them.
very good for you, just raw, but I do like them in there. Courgette, just nice bit of colour. Orange and red peppers
Oh, it looks
with a bit
really
of
nice.
olive oil and a bit of salt.
Well,
That nice fancy.
So you like your salt,
Sel de
huh?
fleur.
Yeah, you do, yes. Oh, that smells fantastic and looks really great. So, yep, looking forward to tasting this shortly. We've come to that part of the show where we have a few questions to ask you. All right. This is the 20 quick fire questions. I tend to finish all the shows the same way. Most of my guests have now done this, and everyone's done really well. Okay.
No pressure.
No, exactly. There's no Okay. No, that is for fun. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep, go for
Are
it.
you sure?
Yep.
Okay. 20 quickfire questions for Julie on the Wood-Fired Oven podcast. Question number 1. If you wrote an autobiography, what would the title be?
Work in progress.
Oh, I like that. That's very
Yeah.
good. Well done. Okay, that's very good. What is the most ridiculous fact you know?
Well, got two actually.
Have you? Okay,
One
this is
is-
quickfire. But okay, I'll let you have to. Okay, I'll let you have to. Go ahead.
You can't lick your elbow.
No. Real. I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
I was about to get...
Well, that's what everybody does apparently. You go and try and lick your elbow, but you can't. Nobody can lick their elbow,
I can't.
and pigs can't look up.
Really? That is bizarre. Okay, I definitely can't lick my elbow. And everyone's listening right now, they're trying that. Yeah. Two really good facts. Okay, very good. What is your favourite takeaway food?
Chinese
What's your favourite beer?
beer.
Chinese food. We'll get back to that. Beer.
Right, yeah. Oh gosh, all sorts of beer.
Do you like Guinness?
Corona?
Corona's good. Do you
Yeah.
drink Guinness? I love
No,
Guinness.
Don't like Guinness.
Hubby,
sorry.
what?
No.
Really?
Don't like it. Yeah. No.
Oh, what about hubby? Does he like Guinness?
Ish. He likes the wheat beer.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
likes
Okay.
wheat beer.
Well, I love Guinness, and I've discovered in the UK that Guinness is maybe about half the price that I can buy it back home. This is so cheap here, so I'm emptying the UK of its Guinness while I'm here. What's your favourite Chinese food?
Yeah.
What sort of Chinese food?
Oh.
Chinese food's great. You could do it in there.
And
in
it's
that
salt
oven
and
over
pepper
there.
stuff. Anything coated in salt and pepper.
Really?
Well, they call it salt and pepper. God knows what's actually in it. But it's called.
Okay. Superhero. Who's your favourite superhero?
I haven't really got one.
Haven't you?
No.
Did you grow up watching
I'd say Superman.
Superman?
Yeah.
Spider-Man, superhero, hubby here has just arrived in front of the Wood-Fired Oven. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Mark. Very good, thank you.
It's lovely to be in your home. Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to have you, Mark.
Thank you. And He's tending the fire, which is great.
There's a bit of kindle there.
Bit of kindling. That's very good.
Get it going back up. We've abandoned it.
Well,
We've
he's
neglected
your superhero
it.
right there.
Yeah.
He's the oven tenderer.
You're my superhero,
That's
Matt.
right. That's right. Okay. What is one place you want to visit?
I should say New Zealand because that's
Of course
where
you should.
But I would actually say New Zealand anyway. We've talked about it,
Yeah.
and
It's a long way away, 25 hours.
I would love to go to New Zealand.
Anywhere in New Zealand you'd like to go to?
Well, I've got a friend who lives in Nelson.
Nelson. Oh, that's a lovely part. In fact, it's one of the most beautiful parts of the country. Yeah. It's lovely.
I have been invited. I think she invited me at some point. So yeah.
Okay, well, you can just self-invite. That's what I did today here. So, okay, it's a great place to visit. What's one part of the UK I should visit?
I'd say Buttermere. That's one of his favourite.
Langley Street.
Yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful part of the world up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you holiday up there?
We go. It's an hour's drive, an hour and a half. So we go walking quite often up there.
Oh, okay, so like a weekend sort of. Yeah,
Well, even just for the day. We'd set off in the morning, walk all day, and then just come home at night, have a pub lunch.
Have pub lunch,
and then
as you do.
come home at night.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice. Okay.
Yeah, so anywhere in the Lake District,
It's
definitely.
really, really
But
nice.
if you one place you need to go would be, if I don't say this, my friend Michelle would not be happy
Oh,
because she's from Brighton.
Brighton. So
So-
that's just south of London, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's where you need to go and visit.
Okay.
It is. It's absolute fantastic
Really,
place
really
to
great.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
we were actually scheduled to go to Brighton about 2 weeks ago for another interview, actually, but various things that interview didn't happen. But it looks like a fun place.
Yeah,
It's a really fun
no,
place.
it is great place.
yeah.
Just lots to do, lots to see.
Yeah.
Just really
By the
nice.
coast there. It's
Yeah.
very nice. We did go to Torquay. Have you been to Torquay?
No, I've been to Torquay. I'm sure I've been to Torquay
beautiful-
in my youth.
The British Riviera.
Yeah.
It's called, apparently. Yeah,
Is it?
it's lovely. Yeah. It's very nice.
I'm sure I've been to many places on the seaside as a kid, different places.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
I've been to Torquay.
All right. But Brighton's a place to go. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The one place I would say to go, but it's not in the UK, is a place called Lamora.
Lamora. Sounds
Yeah.
French.
I've got a friend whose mum was Italian, and she's from a village called Lamora. It's near Turin,
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah.
and they do this thing which you need to look up. It's called the Mangialunga. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it means the long eat.
Oh, that sounds great.
And they start in the village, and you work your way all the way down to the bottom. It's about 3 or 4 kilometres, and all the local vineyard owners have their wine on display that you taste.
Really?
And
As you
all
walk
the
around?
locals make food at each stop.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's absolutely.
It sounds great.
You've got to look that up, and you've got to do. That's got to be on your bucket list.
You'd be pretty sozzled by the end of the walk, though, probably.
Not particularly.
Not too bad?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, it's good. It's just a fantastic experience. Yeah,
Sounds great.
La Mangialunga.
All right. Well, I'll Google that. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh,
That was a truck.
that's the soapbox race that's on
Oh,
today.
is this?
Yeah. Oh, you'll have to come back to me on that
Okay.
one, Mark.
So Clive, the wood fire oven chef on YouTube, he said,
to eat and not get not put on weight.
"Oh, that's a good one, though." He said go back in time so he could correct all his burnt dishes. I thought that was pretty good superpower. That. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, eat as much as you like, not put on weight. Yeah, that's a good one. Kangaroos or kiwis? Careful.
Well, I'd have to say kangaroo.
Really?
I'm allergic to kiwis.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to go now then. Both are quite cute. One's just a lot bigger. Okay, if you could transport yourself back to any time in history, when would that be?
Oh, well, this would be a bit of a sentimental time. My dad died when I was 16, so I'd go back to that time
No,
before.
that would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, our last holiday, we had a holiday in Corfu the summer before he died.
That would be it. That would be nice. All right. Kittens or puppies?
Oh, puppies.
Yeah, because you got a gorgeous one here.
Well, he's not a puppy, actually. He's 12 years old.
Is he?
Well, he's nearly 12. He'll be 12
What's his
in
name?
November. Archie.
Archie. Well, he's a lovely puppy. All right. So no cats then?
No,
Okay.
no.
You don't like cats?
I'm not a cat person.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I won't say I don't like them,
But you're
but
just not. Okay. If you could switch lives with one person for a day, who would that be?
gosh, that's a difficult one. My mind's gone blank with his name. Again, come back to me on that one. It'll come to me.
That's all right. I can edit the space.
It's to go back on the for England to be in Brexit. That's what I'd like to do. So if I could be his name that's eluding me at the moment.
PM, Boris.
No, not Boris, because he it wasn't him. It was the Prime Minister
President.
before. I can see his face, but their name is not coming to me. It'll come to me. But so
folks around this part of the world, did they want to leave or stay?
I don't think it really was particularly this area. I think it was just a complete mix. I think we were just fed a load of wrong information. Nobody knew what they had to do. We didn't have the right information to make those decisions, and the changes that are happening at the moment. Yeah, so I'd like to be able to kind of for them not to be that person, so that we're not given that choice.
Okay, and so you'd still be part of the EU
because they're giving us a choice on something that we really don't know what we're making a decision on.
Yeah, right. Okay, it was very politicised, wasn't it? It was very political. Yeah. What surprises you most about people?
Oh, how nasty they can be at times.
Yeah, they can be, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. The British Museum or the Natural History Museum?
Natural History Museum.
Okay, so for those listening to the show, they're both wonderful institutions in London. And why the Natural History Museum?
It's more interactive.
Yeah, it's pretty cool,
than the Natural History Museum.
So the last couple of times we've come to the UK, we have gone to the Natural History Museum because every year they have the Wildlife Photographer of the Year exhibition.
Oh, wow.
And it goes for about 8 months of the year. And they stop it for 3 months. And would you believe that it's not on right now? I love my photography. I love it. But it's not on, so we couldn't go visit it again for the third time. But that is well worth a look, is the Wildlife Photographer of the Year comp, and that you get to see it inside the Natural History Museum. I agree. I think it's wonderful. We did go to the British Museum again, and that's very cool too. But anyway, okay. What is one dish your family would agree was the worst you've ever made?
Well, it's what I actually mentioned before, that we made just Somali. And it's not because it was a bad dish made. They just don't like it.
Is that right?
But I love it.
Okay. What is one dish your family would agree was was the best you've ever made?
Oh, my, what are you having for tea?
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah,
it's high
your chicken
expectations,
shawarma.
Julie. All right. If you could change one thing about the UK, what would it be?
Oh, well, that's the Brexit
Yeah,
thing. So I've
okay.
got to think of another answer for the other
Prices.
question.
What about power prices? Your power prices are pretty bad. You change that about the UK?
No, definitely Brexit has to be the answer to that. Change Brexit.
Okay, change Brexit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. If you could go back in time, what would you tell your 16-year-old self?
That's the
David
name.
Cameron. Yeah,
David
you
Cameron.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So maybe vote in somebody else. Is that what you're suggesting there? So Brexit wasn't even a thing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyway, you get to zoom back in time to when you were 16. What advice would you give 16-year-old Julie?
Oh, don't give up.
Okay. Yeah. Good advice. All right. What's your favourite movie of all time?
Once Upon a Time in America.
Really? Oh,
Have you seen that movie?
No, I don't think so.
Robert De Niro. It's about 3 or 4 hours long. It's an absolutely fantastic movie.
Okay.
You've got to watch it.
All right. Pride and Prejudice or 007?
007.
Really?
Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice? My wife loves Pride and Prejudice. You're not into it? Me neither.
No, not really. No.
Okay. What's one thing you can't live without?
Salt.
Salt. That didn't take you long to think that one up, Julie. Salt.
Yeah.
What
Anybody
salt?
who knows me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You love your salt?
I love my salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salt's great. Julie, it's been so much fun chatting with you today, getting to know you, listening to your passion for helping others and your love for cooking and entertaining with your wood-fired oven. I'm constantly amazed at how these wonderful ancient cooking vessels can bring folks together from all around the world, just like it has for us today. So thank you so much for opening your home to me and my wife, and for your generous hospitality. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's been a pleasure, and look forward to feeding you.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to eating it, Julie.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure you follow the Wood-Fired Oven podcast in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favourite podcasting app. Please consider posting a review on Apple Podcasts, as this really helps the show. Don't forget to check out woodfiredoven.cooking for more tips, tricks, and advice on cooking with fire. You can also see full episode notes and links. You can also post a question which I may feature on the show. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, so head over to your favourite social platform and get in touch. Thanks again for listening. Catch you next time.